Hello, we're the History Hikers. I am Dries.
And my name is Jente.
And we are in Halen, standing in front of
44 concrete staalhelmen commemorating the Battle of Halen of the 12th of August 1914.
We're gonna try and recreate or retell what happened here by visiting several sites in the area. Hello and welcome to the town of Halen, where an important battle took place in the early stages of World War I. It was here that the last big cavalry charge of Western Europe took place. We have also mentioned it briefly in our 55-kilometer history hike from earlier this year.
The Germans captured the forts around Liège at the beginning of the First World War. In response, the Belgian Army Command chose the River Gete as a natural line of defense to prevent the Germans from advancing northwards. The Belgian defense under command of General de Witte consisted of horsemen, of lancers and guides, a battalion of carabineers wheelers, 2 infantry regiments, and was supported by artillery.
At this bridge over the River Gete, the first encounter between the carabineers wheelers and the German troops took place. Just across the Gete on the left is the former Wouters brewery, where the first Belgian line of defense stood. After the capture of the town centre by German troops, the Belgian forces bombarded the town from the top of the Mettenberg, damaging the church. Several days after the battle, the German troops passing through Halen set fire to the church.
In the distance you can see the Mettenberg towering over the landscape at a height of 55 meters. This is where the Belgian cannons were positioned during the Battle of Halen. This hollow road had a depth of 4 meters in 1914. During the Battle of Halen, this road was of strategic importance. The German horsemen had problems coming down the steep slope of the hollow road and were taken under fire by the carabineers wheelers, who had entrenched themselves in the bushes and shrubs, and so earned the nickname the Schwarze Teufel, or Black Devils.
In this area, the 5th Lancers Regiment broke the storm attack of the German cavalry. There was a small cemetery of fallen Belgian soldiers here until 1924. Afterwards, the bodies were transferred to the Belgian military cemetery in Velpen.
Many street names refer to the battle: de Zwarte Duivelstraat, Generaal de Wittestraat, Liniestraat, or as shown here, Lancierstraat. Located on the IJzeren Beek, this farmhouse played an important role during the bloody Battle of the 12th of August 1914. It became the strategic point for the German attacks on horseback to eliminate the Belgian cannons. The Belgian soldiers had entrenched themselves in the outbuildings and bushes around the farmstead. They resisted the charges of the German cavalry for more than 3 hours.
111 German dead were buried here after the battle. They were later transferred to the German cemeteries in Wrocław and Langemark. The original column with the Iron Cross is still there. The German general relied on his feared cavalry, but the Belgians were much more familiar with the fields and hollow roads around Halen. Hidden in ditches, they awaited the attackers, not with a sabre, but with carbines and rifles. On the Belgian side, 180 of the 5,000 soldiers were killed. On the German side, 140 of the 3,000 men were killed. Afterwards, the battlefield was littered with shining German helmets, which inspired August Kuppens, the parish priest of nearby Logsbergen, to name it the Slag der Zilveren Helmen, or the Battle of the Silver Helmets.
As the Belgians suffered the heaviest losses in the Velpe area, a military cemetery was built in 1915. There are 181 graves, 109 of which have fallen during the Battle of Halen.
The museum houses a collection of Belgian and German equipment from the beginning of World War I, including the colorful uniforms of the Belgian army and the shiny silver helmets of the German army.
This chapel, named the Heldekapel, was erected in memory of the fallen and the veterans from Halen of World War I and World War II.
The statue was unveiled by King Albert I on the 10th anniversary of the battle. The initiative for placing a war monument in Halen came from the Touring Club of Belgium. The Touring Club had campaigned for the introduction of the bicycle in the Belgian army and helped to establish the regiment of Carabiniers wheelers, who greatly weakened the German army during the battle.
Each helmet represents one municipality in Limburg and was artistically crafted by local artists, associations and schools. The 44 helmets now form a lasting symbol for the First World War in Limburg.
We are finishing our walk around the battlefield of the Slag by Halen. Behind us we have the Mettenberg, where the Belgian gun emplacements were located, and was the center of the German offensive here. Yeah, it was really interesting. Didn't really know anything about it, really. What do you think?
Yeah, it's quite nice. Everybody locates in their collective memory the First World War on the other side of Belgium, in the Westhoek, near Ypres. It's quite nice to discover these monuments for the First World War, but then in our own region.
Our own backyard. Alright, we're the History Hikers. Thank you so much for watching.
Like, comment, subscribe and all that good YouTube stuff if you have enjoyed watching this video. And if you have any questions regarding this subject, please drop them below. We will answer them, as we answer all our comments.
If you don't have any questions but just want to leave a nice comment, do so as well. Thank you very much. Until next time.
Bye!
Bye!